Case study number 1. Assessment criteria for, the course number 1 is strategic management. This is the course, this is my specialty, and this is the course I'm teaching. And it's a 4,000 level course, as in graduating students, the senior student course. First, the assessment criteria are diverse to accommodate course learning outcomes in addition to university competencies. That's what you're talking about. The learning outcomes as part of this, as explained in the syllabus, highlights these are skills that must be developed and acquired throughout the course. Why? Because the department cares about it, because the college cares about it, because the university cares about it. Explicitly. You need to tell them what should they expect, how are you going to measure their performance from day one. Don't set the rules, set the plan, and then enforce it. They need to know how are you assessing their performance so they can meet or exceed the expectations. So I made sure that this first step is achieved to make sure that students are not, creating no's at the end. No, this is how the game is played. All assessment criteria revolves around 1, balancing theory and application. 2, developing important competencies, among which are communication skills, critical thinking, research skills, and leadership. I forced them to do group projects as well as individual projects. I forced them to do market research and literature reviews. I forced them to come up with proposals that are scientifically based, literature based. Nobody comes up with ideas from the top of their heads. If they don't meet the expectations, they do not score well, let alone they don't pass. They must know that this is required. And it works. Heavy involvement of real case studies where students learn about argument construction and forming conclusions. Believe it or not, students do not know how to form an argument. They usually mistake opinion to fact. Okay? So in this course, I made sure they understand how to form an argument, claim, hypothesis, and then theoretical warranting, evidence, and then you warrant it with all the studies that have been done. They need to learn how to construct a scientific argument. You need to tell them they don't know. Constructing an argument is a skill when it comes to philosophy. What is a philosophical argument? But we need to teach them that to know, to enable them to create scientific arguments. I tell them what to do, how to do it, and then I measure their performance according to that. So collecting evidence to support a claim, and then look for literature that might help you answer the question. If not, then this is a gap in knowledge. If yes, then you've got the answer. It has been done. Okay? So argument construction is very important. Also, I've linked this course to Vision 2030 as part of the instructional material. They need to read it, they need to understand it, and let alone understand the national transformation program the government is leading to make Vision 2030 a reality. There's a list of initiatives, projects, government-funded projects that they are taking place now in every specialty to make Vision 2030 a reality. Students must understand what is this, what are the initiatives, and how can we contribute to them. Okay? Now, how do they contribute to them? It could be supporting one of the initiatives, starting a business that is aligned with the National Transformation Program, or identifying gaps in some of the projects that are not serving as they're supposed to. So reading about the project, identifying an area of improvement, either provide and develop a solution, or starting a fresh initiative that bridges the gap. That is their final project. That is a group work assignment. It's all also based on research. They need to collect data from the libraries, the internet, the articles, newspapers, any possible recognized data to prove their point. Whether this initiative is useful, missing something, this is the solution, this is how you fix it. Okay? In this way, the argument that Vision 2030 is none of my business doesn't fly. They are engaged, they are responsible, they know their place in it. They know how can they contribute to its success, and that's what's important. They cannot graduate without knowing after graduation, what is my purpose? Where do I sit in the vision? How can I contribute in my own field in the vision? Okay? And that's what's the lesson that is they need to leave with. So, in this way, the objective of the course were linking theory to practice and visualize the nation's progress. Understand Vision 2030. Practice the theory and report where we are, the Saudi economy's progress. Okay? Why do we need to report progress? Because they need to identify gaps. Why do they need to identify gaps? Not because they're critical, not because they're troublemakers, no, because the next step is to find a solution. So identifying gaps without suggesting solutions is pointless. And they need to know that. They need to learn that. This is how you become a critical thinker. And then I asked them to present the industry and the labor market's expectations in that specific initiative. Where are we? What is our progress? What is the expectation? All of that is just to tell them to think critically and systematically to find a solution. Identify areas of improvement and develop or suggest solutions to contribute to the success of the vision. Now they need to act as consultants. Too much? No. If they manage to achieve that expectation, then great. If they can't, then that's also good, but they know what is waiting for them outside. All right? So, in this way, a simple course actually tested the students' ability at a transactional level, understanding theory, research skills, scientific evidence-based arguments, and transformational leadership, because they're expected to identify areas of improvement and develop solutions. Drive change. You see what I mean? So in this way, both transactional level leadership and transformational level leadership has been infused, tested, enforced, and measured. The student know exactly why they scored this way, because of they lack skills in one or both of those types, transactional or transformational capabilities. Okay? That's case number one. So it can be done. Case number two, it's about the internship and the co-op training. I was commissioned by the dean to reform the course itself because it was a joke. Everybody goes to the market, they don't know what they're doing before they graduate, and then they come back and everybody graduates with a trophy, everybody's happy. That was how it used to be. So now I wanted to apply strategic leadership to this course as well. There's not enough literature that tells me what to do, but I've tailored it to the Saudi market to have most impact. So, explicitly state the course's targets and learning outcomes to enable the student develop and practice both types of strategic leadership from day one. On the syllabus, you'll be tested on both transactional and transformational skills. This is how it goes. You are going to the market to practice what you learned in class. But I expect more. Okay? Usually when you give the opportunity to students, especially competent ones who are good in theory, to act as consultants, they surprise you. But you need to tell them. All right? So, first, how was that delivered when it comes to strategic leadership? The importance of students training in his or her own major. It was so common to find students taking their internship and co-op in the wrong major. In the wrong major. Why? Because the employer doesn't feel the need to be that specific. They're not employees, and honestly, the employer doesn't care. To them, internship and co-op students are cheap labor. So they ask them to go do archiving, they ask them to go and help someone to do secretarial job, but they're computer scientists or accountants. See what I mean? And that was a main problem. And the students say, I don't know, nobody told me what to do, and when I applied for internships, they placed me in the wrong department. So this is it. First filter. If the student take their internships in the wrong major, they fail. Period. Why? Because I need to judge their application of theory. If their specialty is human resources and they took their internship in finance, what? Am I supposed to test their ability in financial theory? They were not trained for this. So what now? No, they fail. They need to drop the course until they find a place in the industry or fail. No questions and no discussions. See what I mean? So in this way, and the student must know, and that is mentioned in the syllabus. You take your internship in the wrong major, you're done. Don't even bother continuing. That is to practice transactional leadership. I want to test their ability in their base knowledge of theory that we learned in the class. Practicing the wrong major, it means that you're not testing the theory at a transactional level. Okay? 2, develop the professional reporting skills and the discipline to submit them according to expectations. Believe it or not, in all specialties, in all topics, in all majors, knowing the theory is not enough. Report writing is paramount in every specialty. Every specialty. No one cares if you are the best nurse because you got all the good grades. If you do not know how to write professional reports, you're unemployable. Period. Engineering, business management, nurses, social sciences, no. Report writing, this is what the industry is requiring. You know how to crunch numbers, but you cannot pull together a professional report, you're unemployable. So this is the last course before they graduate, internship and co-op, ideally, after they covered the majority of the core curriculum. Now it's a testing ground. Can they write a professional report? In the beginning, nobody knew how to do it. How to design it. What is it? How do you start? How do you end? Where's the conclusion? The analysis. Again, professional reports means a scientific report. You do not report information without evidence. Now that is infused again in the report writing. All of these expectations are written in the syllabus. This is how you write it. Okay? So students are also now learning not only to practice their theory, but how to write about it. I've transformed this course into their graduation project. Now they need to write a report that is worthy to be published and seen by the industry. Okay? Balance meeting the expectations of the course and the employer. Now the students is being placed in a position where they have two bosses. Yeah? Me and the field supervisor. This is a very difficult position because now they need to meet the field supervisor's expectations and need to please them, and they need to meet the academic expectations and please me. This is a very important lesson, but in my case, because I knew what the industry wants, I've streamlined my expectations to the employer. So if they make their employer happy, they should make me happy. So they feel the synchronism. They feel that it's not two bosses, it's one boss with different formats, but the expectations are the same. All right? 4. Now this is when it comes to the performance. All of these steps in blue are enforced through reports that they need to upload to Blackboard. Everything is done electronically. So I have weekly reports and then progress reports that elaborates on the past 3. And then more reports, and then another progress report, and then a final report. And the final component is defense. Almost like a thesis. They need to present it to me. They need to demonstrate to me how well can they demonstrate their transactional capability and transformational capability. And they need to defend it in front of me. If they're not good enough, they do not pass. If they're good and they performed well, they will be rewarded accordingly. For that, I can share with you some of the results. From my experience, students, when it comes to internship and co-op, can be classified into 3 types. And those types are also explained in the syllabus so the students know how do I think. It's not a trick. I'm not trying to surprise them or ambush them. I'm telling them how am I thinking. 3 types. Type number 1, the tourist. And all the labels are self-explanatory. The tourist, the good soldier, and the leader. The tourist, by default, takes their internship into that department, go and waste time, drink tea, waste everybody's time and chat to them. Okay? What is the application level? 0. And you have them rotating in departments, rotating in other teams, social, as if they're in holiday. Though tourists do not pass, because again, there's no theoretical application and there is no demonstration of transformational leadership. Gone. Second type, good soldiers. Those who manage exactly to apply theory in class, in the field, adhere to all the instructions of their supervisor, like good soldiers. Exactly what they're told to do. And we need good soldiers. But there are students who can do more. Act as consultants to their own departments. Be good soldiers and think outside the box. Identify areas of improvement in their unit and in their specialty, building on their theory, okay? And develop solutions. Not only identify areas of improvement, develop solutions. Present them to their supervisor in the field and write a report about them to me. And then defend it in front of me. 7 to 10% of the student population prove to be leaders. The rest, the majority are good soldiers, and maybe 5% and or less are tourists. To a point that these labels now became universal in the College of Business. All right? When somebody comes, before they finish the course, they know, how well did you do? Amongst themselves, I was a tourist. Enough said. Or some student would say, I've been a good soldier, but I couldn't demonstrate more. They know. And the leaders are celebrated. Celebrated beyond recognition by me, by a letter of recognition from the company. And believe it or not, those 7 to 8%, once I start applying this method, they came back to me showing me job offers before they graduate. 7 to 10% of the student population coming back to me, scanning the document and showing it to me, look, I've got a job before I even finish. Now why? Because they've seen the report. They could defend their small thesis in front of me, and then the employer realized this is not a normal student. This student must be locked in now. We're not going to wait to lose the opportunity. We want these candidates to join us because it helps us to compete. Okay? Now, we need good soldiers. I'm not saying they're bad, but I'm saying there has to be a distinction between good soldiers and leaders. You cannot put them in the same box because that's not fair. Every class of students must be rewarded accordingly. Good soldiers are happy and we want them in the economy. We want them in society. They play an important part to make the Vision 2030 a reality. But we also need those 10% that manage to lead the good soldiers. You see what I'm trying to say? In this way, transactional level capabilities, transformational level capabilities are tested, distinguished between all students according to their performance. Now all students are coming out feeling, let's say, fairly evaluated. All right? Does that make sense? Now mind you that each and every report and assignment is rubriced. It's mapped to Blackboard rubrics and it's generating results and statistics. The major part and problem is there's a lot of work is being dumped on the instructor. There's a lot of work. Each student's producing 5, 6, 12, 15 reports. You have to read, you have to measure, and you have to give feedback instantly. Do not wait. You can't just give a mark without saying why. You have to give a mark and then say my comments. Boom. And they need to know that every report is customized in terms of comments. You're commenting on the reports individually. They learn, they change, they grow. There's a lot of work need to be done, but it happened. It worked, and it's working. Now it's being scaled to both male and female campuses in the College of Business Administration at all departments. When you come to the dean, telling them you have a problem with your internship, without doing the job, reporting, doing your job in finding areas of improvement and developing solutions and implementing them, come with all that. Show it to the dean. Look what we have done. Look at what we have done when it comes to the brand, the university's brand. Oh, you're a graduate from the College of Business Administration of that university? You must be good. Immediately. Now even the reputation of the graduates of the College of Business Administration has changed. Now we find employers hunting them before they graduate. Is that worth something? Is that an indicator whether I was doing a good job or not? Yes, because that's my customer. They're saying, we want this. They're saying that what you are training your students on is required and is spot on. We want them. Now, can this be tailored in engineering, in nursing, in the medical field? It can, with different format, with different levels. Of course, if you are lucky enough to have a dean that gives you the room to create, then it would be brilliant. If not, do what you can, change, and it will pay off at the end. Okay? Is it clear? Is it complex? I don't think so. It's not. And mind you, there's a huge artistic element in the process. Yes, I've showed you the science and the literature, but there's a lot of art in it. How would you design your assessment criteria to show and measure and show and report this? There's an artistic part. And in every specialty, there's science and art, because we're not machines. And you have to do that and start it. Because very soon, as I said, you are going to receive a new batch of critical thinkers coming from high school, better prepared than the one before. I'm not saying the best, but better prepared. Their expectations are different because they're millennials and they're entitled and we can do whatever you want and we are entitled to argue anything. This is the kind of attitude that you'll be receiving very soon if you're already not dealing with that now. But it's up to us to shape them, provide the framework and the machine that could produce them and give them purpose in life and career. And if their purpose is not to serve the Vision 2030 and to make it real, then what is? It's worthless. Okay? So go looking at the Vision 2030, look at your components that is related to your major, go back. How can I produce graduates that meets this, that helps this? And mind you, vision has to be vague. So you need to be creative. What do you think should be taught and measured to enable that? You're capable of doing that. And that's where the art and science comes in. Okay? And we are, I think, and these are references, and thank you very much. Thank you very much. I hope this workshop is more intellectually stimulating. I hope you go back with questions. And these questions are, let's say, marked in your subconscious. You'll go to bed and sleep and think about them. When you wake up, you're inspired with initiatives that could take place in your department, led by you, because you know what's best. Yeah? Does it make sense? it's important for me to understand, does it make sense? We're not here to talk the talk and fail to walk the walk. If that's the case, then it's pointless. This is what intellectually stimulating workshop looks like, and it's supposed to inspire you. How are you going to do that? It's up to you. I hope maybe next year, all right, I'll see some of you in the same event, and you'll tell me stories, success stories. I would be so honored and so happy to hear that this workshop has inspired this kind of motion, because the market and the industry is eager to hire. And so many titles in the industry have been nationalized, Saudized. Now the industry is telling you, we need Saudis to fill these spots, but we need Saudis that adds value, not Saudis who come in and destroy the organization. We need Saudis to be placed to help us compete, not become a liability. All right? It's up to us to answer. Okay? We should lead in each of our departments and prove that is possible. Okay? All right, thank you very much. Since we have a bit of time, if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer. Thank you. And if you don't have any questions, you may leave if you like. Thank you very much.